Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Meraj Kidwai. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well and taking good care of yourselves. To know more about me, check out my website, vertexthesolution.com, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of details about me there. Do check out my blogs, share your suggestions about my writings, and share your feedback. Let me know about what you would like to read more, so I would like to share it with you all. Thank you so much for your appreciation. I'm going to talk about trust, building trust in our classrooms, in education, with our students, with our children, and as educators being in this profession specifically, and as parents, and why it is important. Certainly, you may say that trust is important because trust is something which creates credibility of an individual. And I do keep sharing about human psychology, educational psychology. I keep writing blogs about it as well, where I keep on sharing how we can shape the young questioning minds and their thought process and how it creates their personalities overall. In the same and similar manner, I keep on sharing different characteristics or traits that creates personalities of individuals, and my analysis and observations about people in general, and about human behavior, which creates a mentally healthy, sustaining lifestyle, developing personality of students specifically. Now, I've also shared, if you can please go and watch that video on my channel, about prefrontal cortex, PFC, in personality development or shaping. So I talk with relevance to scientific facts and the research already done and based on facts and data, which comprises and reflects a positive outcome towards human life in terms of educational quality and shaping children and the youth in terms of education and building relationships, which also develops, health of individuals, mental health of individuals, basically. So I'm going to break it down, trust, here today, and how trust can be an important component to focus in developing, shaping personalities and improving the quality of education in classrooms. When your students are able to trust you, it improves your credibility, whatever you say in the classroom, which also develops good classroom management skills of an educator. Number one, if your students are able to trust you, your reputation will increase and rise. Whatever decisions you will take as a leader of the classroom, certainly they will follow. So you will have good classroom command and classroom management. Your peers will trust you more and rely more onto you. You will be working as an asset for the organization. Now, that does not mean that you have to manipulate people to trust you or manipulate your students to trust you. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinity and authenticity in leadership. When you're a trustworthy leader, right? Whether you are leading a class, you are leading a team, you are a school leader, you're an educational leader, or you are leading a group of students, for instance. So basically, a leader has trustworthy traits in their personality. Then only people will follow you. So the number one component of leadership, educational leadership, is building trust. Listen, I've also shared about this on my Instagram and LinkedIn, that you must listen to people. You must listen to your students, what they're saying to you, rather than being in the capacity of giving them commands so they should follow those commands. You should also listen to what they are saying to you. Now, they may come up with excuses also when you are conducting those listening sessions with your students. And sometimes they can be, without any outcome of those sessions because they're young. They may come up with many various excuses for not being there in your classroom for the material you are trying to implement or curriculum you're trying to implement. Depends. The sincerity can only be developed when you respect what you do. Now, what I mean by this, if you are a leader and you respect your team members, their time, the objective of leading that team, the trust will be earned and they will certainly follow you. So once the trust is developed in your system, certainly it will overpass or surpass just the need to be your follower, rather developing learning in a person to be your follower. For example, let me give a very minute example to make you understand with. There are so many scientists, business leaders, and for example, I'm not going to take particular names because I do not know how it's going to reflect, no matter if you're speaking in a positive way though, but I'm sure you're able to understand. For example, let's say Ratan Tata, and the work they do, the impact they make in the society, or their contributions in the society overall, develops trust in the leadership, not just of the people who are working for that leader, but in general. And the credibility of that leader increases. When the credibility increases, eventually a personality is shaped and people rely upon you for directions. They rely upon your skills, they rely upon your intelligence, they rely upon your observations, they rely upon your suggestions and advices. So earning trust is not easy. It's a very difficult task, and specifically in this competitive society where we are. Certainly people have their own needs and it runs in parallels at times. But when you're trusting people for the sake of any kind of a need you have, that's opportunism. And when you're being opportunist yourself, so you need to self-reflect first of all, that are you that kind of an individual yourself on whom people can rely? Probably your own family members, your friend circle, the society you belongs to, right? Then only you are able to question others. So we cannot justify that opportunism is why people are trusting on each other. No. Trust builds a reputation. Trust builds brands, right? Why there is a loyalty in a customer, for example, to be a to have a long-term relationship with a brand, because that customer puts trust and invest emotionally as well, financially as well, and they get a service or a product out of that brand because they trust in that brand and they become investors of those brands, right? So that's how the brand evolves in its credibility and evolves in its personality overall. This personality I'm talking about. And when, as a classroom leader, educational leader, you bring into your practice with your students your credibility and you become your own brand. That is what personal branding is all about. So when you're building up your brand, my dear viewers, trust is the major component, whether it's your professional sphere of life or your personal sphere of life. Whether you're building up your relationships professionally with people, certainly it has to be and when it has to be transparent, it's going to be very tough, very difficult for all of us. Because most of human life, and as per human psychology, we have our boundaries. And in those boundaries, we don't let people in, and we don't want them to be in. Because few things are very personal to us, whether they are in our professional sphere of life or personal sphere of life. And when people start following you, putting their trust on you, they want to know more about you. They want to come to you, they develop a curiosity about you. Because they like you, they love you, and they want to be, in those practices with you, so that they can also, shape or connect with you more. I would say either they learn from you or they would like to connect with you more. So maintaining trust with people is crucial, is important, and is very delicate. Probably there are circumstances in your life at times, whether in professional or personal, you do not wish to share certain information, which might not be that useful, but people get to know about you more as a human, as a person, because they are putting and investing their emotions, their finances in you, so they want to know about you, right? Everything, okay, we are curious about this person, because somewhere we start idolizing that individual. And students idolize their teachers, their parents, their mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, any particular celebrity, a sports person, for example. They idolize them, and that's how they become curious about them. Sometimes it may go into negatives also. Sometimes people become obsessive. So that's again the negative side of the human personality, but I'm not going into that aspect of human personality. Rather, the positive one is that why people certainly, when you are on a leadership position, whether you are a classroom leader, you are a teacher, educator, principal, dean, director, whatever you are, so they look up to you. Your employees look up to you. They want to learn from you, so they want to connect with you more, and they become curious about your life. And as humans, we are not perfect. We humans are not perfect in many ways. We make mistakes, we learn from our mistakes, we evolve, we develop, and this is how life keeps on moving, and we keeps on developing. What I'm trying to say, that when you develop trust, it becomes more of a responsibility to maintain that trust. And building trust is extremely, extremely difficult, important, crucial, and more difficult to maintain it. Because then you start taking up responsibilities of your actions. Then you start taking up responsibilities of what you say, right? Excuse me. And you become a responsible person, and when that responsibility becomes the accountability, your leadership shines. Whether you are a teacher in a classroom, you're leading a class, you're a subject teacher, when you start shining, you start giving outputs. And that's how you become successful. I hope I was able to break it down, trust, and what I meant in my posts on Instagram and LinkedIn that I share, and Facebook, of course. And I'm able to explain to you what I was trying to say, that why building trust is important in our relationships. And if you've built trust of any individual today, I'm telling you, you are on the path of success. You are on a path of success. You are successful if people trust you. Trust me. Thank you so very much for giving me your time and watching and supporting my channel. Keep subscribing, share these videos with family and friends around, and support my channel. Thank you, and have a great day.